Fala rapaziada, beleza? Estamos aqui hoje para jogar o Genshin Impact a 3.8. Falar pra vocês, era pra mim ter começado a jogar 3.8 faz tempo, mas quando eu crio vontade para jogar o jogo, eu não consigo jogar. Mas hoje eu vou embora, jogar um pouco aí. E é claro, né, eu vou estar fazendo um evento. Vai ser interessante fazer o evento, porque a gente vai estar dando bastante gema aí. Vamos ver, né? Mas antes, é claro, deixa eu só mudar a thumb aqui, só tentar, né, porque é muito bugado. Só dá problema, velho, quando você vai tentar fazer alguma coisa. Beleza. Nossa, eu não consigo mexer. Fica dando bug.
Take a deep breath, as if you're about to blow up a huge balloon. Exhale all your sleepiness into it, and then, poof! It's now flying away.
Vou fazer antes a missão diária. Aí eu vou partir para evento. Rapaziada, eu vou ter que pular o evento, porque um bagulho do evento que é o seguinte, missão. Ou eu faço. Não, eu vou ver uma coisa primeiro. Mas que não importa. Vambora. Ah, pra mim não faz diferença quem tá certo. Encheção de saco, velho. Isso, melhor bola. Uma atrás da outra. Ah, verdade, nessa nova versão ele já marca onde tá a próxima. Tinha esquecido desse detalhe. Mudaram o bagulho do jogo agora. As missões aparecem bem diferente do que tava antes. Agora não mudou aqui. Você faz uma, ele já marca outra automaticamente onde está exatamente. Bom, fica melhor assim. O que eu tenho que fazer nisso aqui? Ela tem que defender?
Shadows of Fate! You wait!
Vou ignorar.
Let me scry! Don't be scared! With all my strength!
ajeitar aqui, rapaziada, porque tá bem feio. Ah, por que tinha que logo que tinha que ser velho?
Don't be scared! Here! Delves into death! You blade! You're up! Dance with the waves! Positions! Ha! Yeah! Yeah! Ha! Yeah!
Poxa, parece que minha câmera ficou muito. Normalmente ele rastrearia direto, né? Eu acho que é mais certo. É mais certo eu fazer isso. Tem algum bagulho perto? Nossa, devia conseguir esse aqui, mano, pra mim poder chegar mais rápido, mas. Beleza. Esse aqui. Bora.
The weather.
Tem item ali, mas eu não sei o que é. Duvida lá, velho, pra você, não vou, já vejo quem é. Deixa eu só chegar no lugar ali. Porque agora que eu tô no ar é foda de comentário, beleza, mano? É nóis, hein? Vamos junto. Só esperar um pouco. Nossa, esse também tá acabando, velho. Tá mais, né? Eu acho que. É, não vai dar pra chegar. Para. Vamos dar uma olhada aqui. Tá bugando tudo? Oi, boa tarde. E aí, Jess, beleza? É nóis, hein? Boa tarde. Tamo junto. Tem que derrotar aqui.
With all my strength! Don't be scared!
Germinate!
Let go!
Isn't over! Miscalculated. You need to hurry up! Propagate! An unfortunate fault!
Agora é só se vazar daqui. Vambora. E pensar que os outros personagens não tão bons ainda. Retiro esse bagulho. Nossa, daqui é ainda, cara. Vou passar a pegar essas flores aqui, pelo menos. Vambora, hein? Agora. Desmarque e marca. Ah, mas aí é sacanagem, jogo. Como é que eu vou chegar do outro lado? Minha sorte que eu tenho isso aqui. Tamo junto, hein, só agradeço. Bora. Ai, já acho que eu vou começar a fazer o evento. O certo era fazer a missão do Arconte para poder liberar o evento, mas não sei. Não sei se é a última missão que eu tô fazendo agora.
Don't be scared. Here. Written in the stars. Hey, hey, go away. Yeah. Yeah. Hit. Stay put. Shadows of fate. Positions.
Want to take my hammer?
Spring forth!
Decided by destiny. All eyes on me.
Place my hammer.
Here. Yeah. You play. You're up. Ready, go. Stop. Hit. Let me scribe.
Subject.
Vai fazer outro cara, filha da puta. Ah, sobrou só eu? Aí. Resgatar aqui. Bom, deixa eu ver aqui uma coisa. Tá. Vamos pra Mondstadt. Deixa eu só ver se eu não tô mutada, porque... Não, não tô não. Deixa eu confirmar uma coisa. E aí? Acho que eu não tô mutado não. Tá de boa, vambora. Não, não é aqui que eu quero ir, velho.
Add Astra. Thank you for. Add Astra.
Cara, agora eu acho que o certo era fazer boss. É aqui, ó. Primeiro eu vou fazer da Shogun. Inazuma. Cadê o da Shogun? Era na árvore. Aqui, ó. Deixa eu ver se dá pra fazer ela. Dá pra fazer, beleza. Eu vou fazer os principais que eu preciso. Aí depois eu vou pra missão do Arconte, do Akashi. Só que eu vou ter que enfrentar Shogun de outro jeito, porque o que eu vi usando a passiva da Nilon não funciona tão bem, então vou ter que ir na porrada mesmo. Aí vai ser mais difícil, mas é o jeito de enfrentar ela com melhor eficiência. Vamos ver o que dá. coisa de maluco.
Scatter!
Stay put! Delve into depth with all my strength! Yeah! Yeah!
Comandos assim dão um pouco mais de dano.
Pathetic. Weak. Propagate!
Illusions of destruction! Shadows of fate!
Shattered!
Delve into... Don't be scared! Positions! Dance with the waves! Fate is upon
Your
you!
verdict is decided.
Hey, go away!
This world, the fleeting shadow.
Nossa, eu pensei que não tava dando, mas mano, que isso?
You blade!
Scatter! Without yearning, all returns to silence.
Caramba, eu pensei que era o ataque dela que dava refill, velho.
This body is eternal. Purge all obstacles.
Shadows of fate!
Propagate!
Stay
Toda
put!
essa defesa dela é quase impegável.
Yeah!
Ela participa do jogo, imagina.
Purge all obstacles. In fury!
Delve into destiny!
Here! Spring forth!
Written in the stars!
Witness
You
the
blade!
final calamity!
Here!
Vai. Nossa, que sorte, eu me salvei. Eu me salvei esse golpe.
Shadows of fate!
Scatter! Eternity is in my hand!
Agora eu preciso de cura.
You blade! Let me scry! With all my strength!
In fury! Propagate!
Não, 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 não.
Shadows of fate!
Here! Terminate!
Ready, go! Don't be scared! Delve into depth!
Scatter!
Here! All eyes on me!
Spring forth!
Decided by destiny! Hey, go away! You blade! You're up! Let me scry!
Weak!
Delve into depth!
Propagate! The eye sweeps the lands!
Ah, velho.
Scatter!
Dano que ela faz.
Pathetic! Propagate!
Don't be scared!
Inferior! Lightning falls on the land of eternity!
My reckoning
Você tá de brincadeira.
has come. Stay put!
This body is eternal! Purge all obstacles!
This dance is for you! Oh. You blade!
There is
You're
no
up!
escape!
Nossa, velho.
Inferior!
Ah, mas é muito. Ah, não, acabei usando um item muito bom.
Witness the final calamity!
Nossa, me salvei de novo.
With all my strength!
Do it! Follows my blade!
Don't be scared!
Ah, morreu de novo, cara.
Eternity is in my hands.
Nossa, velho.
All eyes on me.
Inferior.
Cara, enfrentar com dois personagens é muito difícil, velho. É muito forte.
The eye sweeps the land.
Ah, é verdade, mano. E na porrada com ela é
Lightning
um
falls
mais
on the
difícil.
land of eternity.
Nossa, consegui escapar da morte agora.
Stay put.
Inferior. This body is eternal. Purge all obstacles. Inferior.
Don't be scared.
Followed by blade. Inferior.
Uruguay, you're up. Go get him, Uruguay.
Witness the final calamity.
Positions.
There is no escape.
Don't be slow.
Followed by blade.
With all my strength.
Eternity is in my hands.
Ah não, velho, isso de novo.
Stay put.
Purge all obstacles.
Uruguay. Dance with the waves.
Finalmente, velho, eu achei que não ia ganhar.
Crumbles before me.
Vi um protótipo de espada. Nossa senhora, velho. Beleza. Nossa, vida, velho. Defesa, mano. Isso que é bom. Isso aqui é perfeito. O foda é que não vem um protótipo. Se viesse, ia ser bom demais. De espada, né? Poderia fazer mais espada. Não, deixa eu ver uma. Para de travar jogo. Na verdade eu vou fazer a missão do Arconte, porque aí vai liberar mais um boss. Oh não, não sei, velho. Chega aqui perto. Sumero. Deixa eu já marcar aqui. Não. Missão do Arconte. Ixi, mas essa região não fui ainda, velho. Rapaziada, é o seguinte, eu não vou pular os diálogos daqui pra frente, porque é tudo missão Arconte. Então vai demorar um pouco pra gameplay funcionar, né? Aparecer, porque missão de Arconte é foda.
Scatter!
Facilita, cara. Até boa, não. Acho que nós tava com discriminado, se eu não me engano. Ah, não. Nada a ver.
We finally made it to Caravan Rebach. It's pretty lively. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall, it's gotta be...
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Ó, o Hyper, ele mesmo.
Over here.
Ele mesmo, o brabo.
Oh, Haytham went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
Nossa, cara, eu me arrependo um pouco, velho, de não ter tentado pegar o Hyper no bagulho, velho. Que tristeza, mano. Era pra mim ter pegado esse personagem, mano. Nossa, ele na minha culpa ia ser destruidor, velho, mas tá bom. Beleza. Oxi.
What the... Where did he go? How did we lose him?
More Eremite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time?
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago. There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that I didn't expect. However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer. Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule which brings me back to you, and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you, and upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some... To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've been hiding from me?
Al-Haytham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the Academia, but that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Am I right? No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of...
That's right! We have the same plan as you! But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
Deixa eu pegar o TP daqui, porque não sou tonto também. Se eu não pegar aqui, eu vou ter que voltar andando. É doido? Nossa, minha sorte é que eu vim pra cá antes, velho. Por causa de um evento, só que não deu pra fazer o evento. Porque já ia acabar em um dia, então nem pensei mais. Mas beleza. Vamos embora. Então tem... Cara, a última vez que eu fiz missão do Arconte, velho, eu parei com o Tignari. O Tignari tava comigo. Tipo assim... Missão, né? Agora não sei. Vai descobrir isso depois.
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the
Whoa. This landscape is really something else. What a cool place!
Travou. Ah, você tá de brincadeira que travou o play. Ah, não, travou nada. Foi o Genshin mesmo que não suportou o jogo. Que isso? A animação, nem vou falar nada. Ficar de boa. Ah, não, ele não vai virar
Unless
boss
my
agora.
memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how...
Al-Haytham, do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more...
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra, as well you...
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Al-Haytham? Did you call him General Mahamatra?
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al-Haytham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be consequences.
Has Alhaitham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Alhaitham, I saw it during our take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes Amatra's.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh! What should we do, Traveler? Paimon feels like...
Ahem. Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone down... You gotta help us out here. Otherwise, these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds. Hey, did either of you hear a word?
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong! Is this a sandstorm?
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly! We have to take cover!
Someone's calling for us! Oh, this wind is...
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you Academia folks such hard work? Move it!
All right, stop yelling.
Caramba, virou uma confusão isso aqui, velho. Os caras tão loucos pra se matar, velho. E o Alhaitham pediu pra caramba, velho. Primeiro ele fala uma coisa e depois ele faz outra. Esse cara é foda. Tá bom, velho. Mas, mesmo que o Alhaitham seja assim, é um personagem foda. Muito foda. Sim, também.
Well, this is pretty... Hey, wanna play sardines with three people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru Village.
Our savior has... Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when...
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to... As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar. And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no... So please, Have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to rest. If anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought...
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So, which of you will begin?
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should
Wait, that was you trying to...
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen...
Huh?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did, as General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data, I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request. But I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of I began to realize that they were cautious of... Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right...
So they really...
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert the vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold. They are meaningless to the Academia. I believed it would be wise to flee the Academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I...
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary. Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Al-Haytham as a...
When I was investigating the matter in the Academia, I overheard a conversation between Al-Haytham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Al-Haytham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the Divine Knowledge Capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
Yes. I was indeed...
Al-Haytham?
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine...
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information. Namely, that divine knowledge in... From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the Divine Knowledge Capsule. In the end, I realized had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the Academia. You were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Al-Haytham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the Divine Knowledge Capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had been After all, curiosity often proves to be the most...
You should be well aware, Scribe Al-Haytham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the academia.
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an...
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two. And now you, Dia. I believe.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru Village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time, but then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from...
Is that all? Well, I will admit that...
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures.
Creatures? In the sand?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry, she's...
The wind's died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she...
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. All right, let's go. We've been here long enough.
Beleza. É massa, velho, ficar vendo esses bagulho, conversa, parece até anime, mano. Os caras batendo papo e tal, depois começa uma confusão, uma guerra, isso é bom demais. Interessante, velho. Que horas são? Beleza. Tá bom, tem muito tempo pra nós jogar ainda. Vou jogar bastante esse jogo aqui hoje. É, renderização do PS4 meio ferrado, olha isso. Só as coisas aparecendo agora. Oxe, aquele bicho ele não é daqui não.
Oh, Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Ah! Here comes another wave!
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now...
It's been quite a while since I've seen the flame.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
Let me scribe.
Stay put! Ready, go!
Parece que meu jogo tá travando. Trava não.
Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up? Don't be scared!
Let me scribe.
Propagate!
The creatures stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope. Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the villages. I am the chief of Aru Village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now.
I can't say they've always been common, but recently, besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms...
Everyone in Aru Village needs to... speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they?
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru Village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the Academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of the Academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days...
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins?
Nossa, esse aí tem que...
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far.
É, mas eu acho que não vai só ver a gente, vai ir todo mundo junto. Do jeito que o povo é. Eles não vão deixar o viajante sozinho. Eu não duvido. Ah, não, vai sim. Ah, mas não duvido com a Rai também.
Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same thing. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation? One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in this. The Academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru Village. A mysterious phenomenon. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But after spending initially, the people of Aru Village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. But a strange incident one night, Aru Village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, the then chief of the village, suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright. Almost after that, the people of Aru Village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began...
A soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru Village? What do you... Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Sino, Do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their Akasha terminals at Aru Village?
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the academia could still monitor their activities. With that said...
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who calmed them.
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears... So, what do you make of the story? Really? Lesser Lord Kusanagi.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha to...
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds.
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and wise. Even if she says weird stuff sometimes.
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell what...
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth.
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that from a liar. How can this be? To think. Our Archon has been amongst us this entire time.
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this, but easier said than done. Especially since we don't have any leads.
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
Huh? Who?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa, right?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you...
The person you're referring to is not a local. Yet you are. Why do you call...
Grandpa is just Grandpa. I heard everything you said to the village chief. Please, you gotta take me with you. I want to find my grandpa. I swear I'll help. I won't be a nuisance.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was. But I had a vague feeling that they didn't...
Whoa. Haven wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa. Let's find a way to help him.
Sorry. I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Candace.
All right. But first, let's...
Oh caramba, ela foi pra cima.
Sino is super vigilant.
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you. Do you know a boy by...
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. Isak's parents were both Eremite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by... Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time, so various families in the village... Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather, and thus often... However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, one summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace, and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" Or, "Grandpa."
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad. It seems like they both deserve so...
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, it's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect this land.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did you say?
No, nothing. As long as Esau keeps his word and doesn't get in our way.
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for. Please accept my thanks on Isak's behalf, Sino.
Rapaziada, é igual eu falo pra vocês. Missão do Arconte não pula bagulho, velho. Se tu quer ver a conversa, a história, mano, não tem como, véio. Não se pula, tá ligado? Pelo menos pra mim. É interessante ver isso. Você fala, mas você não vai acabar lembrando disso depois, mas vale a pena. Vambora.
Hey, Isak!
Oh, it's you!
We've cleared everything up. Let's go find your...
Really? What? Yeah!
Alright.
Concluí a missão. Yeah! Mas agora eu parei pra pensar, o Akasha pulsa. Qual missão que é essa, véi? Será que é essa aqui? Porque não tem como não ser essa, véi. Acho que até ser estranho.
Excuse me, did you happen...
You mean the village keepers? Oh, when I was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road, muttering away and eating mushrooms and tree roots.
Okay.
Anything else?
The scholars that have gone missing.
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes.
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so... But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past.
Do you also think Grandpa and the others...
Grandpa? Oh, hello there. It's little Isak. You mean that nice man who looks like your grandpa's long-lost... He was actually the one who protected my house. I saw it with my own eyes. He happened to be staying near my house that day and was doing something with... It still feels pretty surreal now that I think back on it. Did someone teach them how to do that? Well, whatever the case, I'll always be thankful to him and whoever taught him to look out for others. I'm pretty sure that if I ever went mad...
Gotcha! Sir, have you seen my grandpa recently? You know, the one who likes to...
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. Oh, the last time I saw him, he was spacing out by the road as usual. I went and asked him if he'd like any of the food I had prepared, despite my... And speaking of my wife, she's still always complaining about how I don't make enough mora.
Oh, thank you.
It was nothing. Hey, you're looking for him, right? Did he go for...
Yeah.
That's no good. Well, once you found him, come by my... I've known you since you were very young. So as far as I'm concerned, you're...
Wow, what an...
Okay.
Huh? Don't say anything for now. Isak, stay here. Let's head over there. Stay cool.
E onde que tá o sino para começo de conversa? Ah, tá. Ele viu alguma coisa errada. Com certeza absoluta.
Listen, see if you can make out what they're saying.
Have you heard? The mighty King Deshret, the sovereign of our faith, will soon return to this world.
Yes, of course I have. King Deshret is the one and only true ruler of this land. Still, you say he's coming back, but it sure doesn't feel like life's about to change around here.
Haven't you noticed? The village has been getting more deranged scholars than ever. Delavar was saying that many people also went insane just before the fall of King Deshret's civilization in ancient times. We don't quite know why, but it seems like there's some sort of connection between insanity and King Deshret. Isn't it a sign of King Deshret's power that all the mad scholars have disappeared? If you ask me, they must have been chosen as the final sacrifice for King Deshret.
Huh. Now that you say it, that does make some sense. Does this mean our...
Exactly. Those city folks will get what's coming to them.
Now, repeat everything you've just said from the very beginning.
Huh?
Who are you? Where did...
My patience is running thin. You heard what I asked.
Yeah, bro, this guy's something else. Just look at his eyes. One wrong move, and he's...
Let's not get on his bad side, okay? I am no match.
Oh, okay, good sir. What is it you would like to know?
Tell me about King Deshret's resurrection.
Well, I only know a few things from hearsay. I went for a drink the other day and heard others talking about a rumor that the madmen will disappear and that King Deshret will return to this land.
Hey.
It's true. It's all true, sir. We desert folk have had more than enough of those people at the academia. They keep sending us all their mad scholars and won't let us have a good life. Would you want to live like this if you were in our place? The radicals were even more thrilled than me when they heard the news. We're all praying for King Deshret's speedy... Delavar also said that once King Deshret returns to our side, it's only a matter of time before we conquer the land on the other side of the wall. They're all willing to serve under King Deshret and fight for a
Is that so?
Seems like he still wants to know more. Keep talking.
Got it! At first, I told myself it was just the drink talking, but then all the mad scholars vanished without it. Please, don't beat me up just for mentioning these rumors. If I'm guilty, then everyone else around here is also guilty. I'm just saying what the others...
The people here really like King Deshret, but dislike the Dendro Archon.
Where is this radical person you talked?
I haven't run into him over the past few days, so he probably hasn't been around the village.
No, not at all. We wouldn't dare lie to you. He's really...
Sounds like you're not too close with the radicals.
No, of course not.
I have many ways to stop you from talking. And many others to stop you from sending warning messages. So you'd best just stay home and hope I don't hear of you trying to contact anybody. Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this. Try something foolish, and even Candace won't be.
Yes, got it.
That scared Paimon half to death. Sino is pretty terrifying. He didn't try to reassure us at all. It's like he's used to hearing that. Oh, Paimon bets lots of people have told him that before.
I heard that.
Sorry.
It's part of being a Matra. The rumor we heard just now seems like a strong lead. But we need to check a few more places. Very well.
Isaac!
I'm here.
Where's your grandpa's house?
Well, I can take you there.
Join the Eremites.
Grandpa? Oh, he likes to be alone. Sometimes he stares at the sky in a daze, and other times he just pokes at the ground with his fingers. Every now and then, he yells out at the top of his lungs, so a lot of people are really scared of him. But he's a good person, really. I know he is. I swear, he's just like my real grandpa. Well, this is where Grandpa...
There sure isn't much here.
No.
Incense? Please don't say it's the same one as before. But are you okay? Are you getting dizzy?
There's a scent that you can sense, but I can't.
A certain traveler here once passed out from that smell. Thankfully, Tainari saved the day. And then he gave us a long lecture to explain all...
So, you know Tainari?
Huh? You know him too?
Yes. Now that I concentrate...
Wait, surely Tainari didn't lecture...
No. No need. Did you first encounter this scent at Tainari's house? In the forest. From a scholar.
What are you looking for, Sino?
Here it is. Take a look right here. Although the traces have been completely buried in the sand, from the size and shape, they belong to an adult male. This pattern of the scent is quite faint, but still extant. The footprints...
But who would come looking for Grandpa?
We'd have to ask whoever lured him away with the incense.
Huh? So you can lure someone away with just a scent? Hey! What's wrong with liking good food? Everyone's got something they love in life.
Exactly. Most scholars are fond of incense. since the smell supposedly helps them clear their minds. Even deep within the clutches of madness, they still yearn for their knowledge-seeking days.
No. So, someone's taking advantage of their weakness? Huh. Still, why would anyone want to abduct all the scholars? Are the rumors really true? Could the disappearance of all the mad scholars have something to do with the
It's highly...
Please, you have to save my grandpa. Grandpa's never...
Sounds like we'd better help get him back. Don't you worry, Isak.
Let's head to Aru Village and inform Candace and the others about what we learned here. After that...
Beleza. E é claro que... é óbvio que eu vou teleportar, né? Eu sou pilantra mesmo, velho, não adianta. É óbvio que eu vou teleportar. Muito mais fácil. Pior que... para do lado.
Right. The darker fabric definitely looks a lot better.
We're back, Candace! We've got a lot to tell you.
Ah, welcome back.
Sounds like everyone's friends already.
Oh, Dia's here too!
You bet. So, everything goes smoothly?
Reasonably.
Alhaitham didn't go with...
We haven't seen him at all.
Huh. I saw him around the village entrance earlier and figured he was investigating with you. I guess he...
Did you find out anything useful? I see. So someone used a kind of incense to leave the exiled scholars of...
The resurrection of King Deshret? First I've heard of it. Far as I know, the kind of incense you just mentioned is only popular beyond the wall. Scholars are fond of it, but as you can see, there aren't many scholars still studying around these parts. No seller would be able to make a... Not to mention making incense is a labor-intensive process. You won't see anybody in the desert with the patience to make or sell something that requires that kind of effort. It seems someone from beyond the wall must have been supporting this.
Makes sense.
So what should we do then? Do we go back to the academia?
If it was any other day, that would be your next logical step. But today, you've got me on your team, so you get an extra tip. Didn't you say that the villager got his news from the tavern? Well, I also like to drink at the tavern, so I know a thing or two about these radicals he mentioned.
If Paimon remembers correctly, the leader of the radicals is some guy called Delavar.
Ah, yeah. Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, Engur, the wide-eyed butcher, and Jabari, the duck-tailed bearded crook. The whole... These guys have one thing in common, and that's being broke. The rougher life gets, the more they want to believe in King Deshret. Way they see it, King Deshret's resurrection is their only chance at overthrowing... Throwing all of Sumeru into chaos is the only way to change the way of life here in the desert. Anyway, that's my guess why they've chosen...
Tia! You're amazing! You really know this
place. No merc can afford to slack off on gathering intelligence. Every mora I've spent in the tavern has been a valuable investment.
Let's head out.
Now hold on, you're staying right here, Sino.
Why?
Aru Village is not a big place. Outsiders stand out here like a sore thumb. I'd bet word about you is already... The desert is unforgiving, so the way of life here is also a lot tougher than on the outside of the wall. You survive on making connections out here. Compared to you, mercs like me are just third-rate amateurs. I've got no actual fighting skills to speak of. But that also makes it a whole lot easier for me to gain the locals' trust. I need to go around and ask some questions, but it'll be difficult if you're with me. Good, then we've got a plan. The Traveler and Paimon will go to Caravan Rebot with me, and we'll try our best to figure out where the mad scholars have been taken. Sino, you'll have to stay in the village and continue investigating.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Ela já tinha visto o cara pelo jeito. Ou não? É longe? Ah, ainda bem. Ainda bem que eu peguei aquele teleporte. Porque se eu não tivesse pegado, eu teria que voltar correndo até ali. Nossa, que bosta. Foi uma jogada ótima da minha parte. Vambora. Rapaziada, não tá tendo muita gameplay porque, né, vocês sabem, né? Esse bagulho de missão do Arconte é foda. Você tem... Se você quer saber da história, curtir os diálogos, você tem que ver. Se fosse missão comum, tipo normal, eu não me importaria.
Sounds like you're starting to get familiar with the area.
Paimon's amazed every time we see the wall of Samiel. How can a wall this tall even exist?
I know what you mean. I had the same question every time I walked this way when I was a kid. Also, why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms? It was only after I grew up that I realized the Wall of Samiel isn't just there to keep out the sandstorms. It serves a more important purpose. Sumeru is run by wise and mighty sages. To them, us desert dwellers are nothing but tools that can be used and discarded at their whim. We're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to control. Even if a child from the desert got the chance to obtain an Akasha terminal, almost all their requests for knowledge would be denied. The academia believes geniuses like Sataria are 1 in a million. The other children never get a single chance to try and rewrite their fate, even though the academia knows very well that we're humans, just as they are. I would tear down this wall with my own hands if I could.
Hey, Dia.
No, not at all. This place just gets me. Besides, we're here to procure information.
Yep, we gotta.
Shh! Caravan Rebot is crawling with people, so be careful what you say. We don't want anyone to find out what we're here for. Our mission started the moment we arrived here. Let's go check out the tavern. Maybe we'll find someone I know. Just our luck. None of them are here today.
You mean you don't see anyone you know?
Dia, is that you? What a coincidence.
Zaki. Finally.
Oh, and who do you have with you here? Guests from another land? Hello, hello. I'm Zaki. Dia's, how would you put it?
We've had drinks together a few times. Anyway, as far as my friends here, they aren't too shabby, are they? You rarely see any Outlanders so friendly and respectful nowadays.
Absolutely. Much better than those people on the other side of the wall. So, Dia.
Yeah. Have you seen Enger, Delavar, or Jabari recently?
Of course I have. Matter of fact, we were all here drinking together just a few...
I've got a spice trading deal from another nation. I thought maybe Delavar and his friends might be interested. Know where I could find him?
Ah, how thoughtful of you. Then I assume you also know that Delavar's been having a hard time making ends meet these days. So, you came here.
Hey, keep it down. Let's just say I prefer to keep this deal a secret. Y'all at Caravan Rebot are like family. If there's more to be made, why not do it together? Besides, Delavar and his friends have muscle. They'd be a good fit for escorting.
Yes, how considerate of you. Delavar's my friend too, so of course I can take you to him.
Isso tem cara de armadilha, hein? Isso tem cara de armadilha. Olha o lugar que vai levar, velho. Isso, jogo, não vem com essa. Aqui não tem. Vamos ver. Ah, não. Será que eu tô enganado? Eu espero que esteja. tô vendo a merda de longe.
Are we there yet?
Yep.
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on.
Salve, deixando o like. Tamo junto, Thiago. FVX. Não, FVX, é? Tá certo. Tamo junto, hein, mano. É nóis, hein? Só vamos.
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru Village? The boys have kept a close eye on you from the moment you set foot there. Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the Academia to look for the missing scholars.
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. I'm a new leaving Sainoba.
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't you? Who do you think you are? You really thought we'd fall for your little bit?
So you and Della...
Dia, I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of the loop. Those of us who hang around the tavern have stronger bonds than you think. But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru. There's nothing more we'd like to see than the desert folk overthrowing the Academia.
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have convinced me that you're one of us.
Delavar. And Engar. You're here too, huh?
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors are what us followers of King Deshret.
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand why King Deshret is greater than the Dendro Archon. Little did I know, you don't deserve to join us.
Yeah, gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping innocent scholars, all because of some baseless rumors.
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds. Mora.
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's paying me. As long as there's a profit to be made, anyone can...
Enough talking! Get him!
E vocês acham que vocês conseguem.
Just
Isso é
as
uma
I
piada.
expected. Let's teach him a lesson, traveler.
Esses caras acham que pode, velho. Isso é uma piada, mano.
Positions.
Spring forth!
Written in the stars. Hey, go away. Stay put.
Ué? Ué, rapaziada? Ué, mano?
How could you?
Sorte, o que foi isso? Mano, foram deletados, velho. Mano, o engraçado é que os artefatos não estão nem nível 20, de ninguém tá nível 20.
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you say it? It's only natural for a traveling mercenary like me to be out of the loop. I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills, correct? I mean, that is what I said after all. And of course you would believe everything he reported. The only thing you know about me is that I'm a mercenary, but you've never... Even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, you believed that Candace was the only one. That so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. She just uses her connections to gain the trust. That's what you thought.
You lied in the village because you figured that we'd have people...
And you were stupid enough to fall for it. I figured as much the first time we drank together. You... Okay, that should be all of them.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we were in...
No task can be done without preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious-looking people while you were out investigating.
Oh, but instead of catching them right away, you...
Those two who were snooping around were just a couple small fries. If we want to get the real catch, we have to be patient and give it some...
Oh, you mean the funny name she mentioned back in Uncle Ampu's house? The wide-eyed butcher, scar-riddled bandit...
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Edgar and Delavar like to talk themselves up when they're drinking. Edgar, the wide-eyed butcher, and Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, are the nicknames they came up with for themselves. Alcohol has a way of making people share what they really think. So Edgar and Delavar are always rambling in the tavern about how King Deshret is a superior deity.
What about Zaki?
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find Delavar first, and then try to track him down. That's what you wanted to ask when we were at Uncle Anpu's house, right? Jabari is one of the villagers you talked to. You know, the one who wanted to treat Isak and his grandpa to some food.
Wait, so he's a radical
No, he isn't. I just needed to tack on a random villager name to make the eavesdropper think that I was making some wild guesses based on my impressions.
Wow! What a genius idea!
Ah, you're too kind. It was straight from...
So, that thing you were saying before...
About what?
About how mercenaries only care about Mora. And that anyone's afraid...
Does that bother you? What makes you so sure?
Dia? Do you dislike the Dendro Archon?
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon. I've heard a lot of nice things about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion and gratitude. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would be so involved in the
I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in King Deshret, making the Dendro Archon out to be an enemy.
But I see through it all. And unlike them, I can never be hostile towards anyone who's never done anything wrong.
Dia.
Anyway, looks like we're done with business here. Traveler, lend me a hand. Let's...
Beleza. A animação? Ué. E essa tela de carregamento aí? Ou é porque terminou a missão? Vixe, agora não sei. Se eu não me engano, acho que a missão contra o cara lá é ato 5. Mas, não sei. É, meu jogo tá sofrendo pra carregar, velho. Bosta.
This should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here.
All right. I'll be in touch. Until...
Candace, do you need any...
Candace will be okay on her own. I trust her. She's been guarding Aru village for quite some time now. If any...
While I'm questioning them, why don't you...
I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning, Traveler. As for these idiots, let's just hope they live to see another day.
Tá. Pera aí. Que hora que o jogo pediu ali? Ah, tá. Beleza. Pode deixar comigo. Beleza. Vai ser que tá certo? É, tá certo.
Hey, Dia!
Right on time. We'll know any...
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well.
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong warrior, she never misuses her powers.
Oh, Paimon knows what you mean. Like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight outside the ring.
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. It takes strong convictions to be as dedicated as she is. Us mercs, on the other hand, we pretty much live from...
Well, Paimon thinks you're great, too.
Really?
Lá tá o Sieno, só.
Sino's here, and he's...
Yes. I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
Ah, tá.
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more
Right.
Come on in, everyone.
Sino ensinar essas coisas.
Come on, let's go inside.
O Cino, o jeito de fazer as pessoas falar, ele puxa a lança, filho, se ninguém falar nada, ele vai matar, tá ligado? Esse Cino é foda, hein? Esse cara é perigoso. Mas é um personagem massa também, velho, não posso negar. Proficiência elemental. Deixa eu ver que horas são de novo. 4h18. Rapaziada, dando 5 horas. Eu espero que eu termine a missão até lá, então vamos ver, né?
Candace, where? Whoa, you look furious.
Do I? Huh. What gave it away?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself at the corners of your mouth.
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would agree.
Yes. Please, don't beat us anymore.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here, to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones towards your goal.
Mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may all be desert dwellers, but there's one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of King Deshret will... The people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And that is not a responsibility that you can...
We understand. We're sorry. I'll tell you everything I know, please, just...
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the tavern. That's how we ended up hearing about King Deshret's... Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in King Deshret's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish.
They're called Village Keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread the word about King Deshret's resurrection, and talked us into helping him. In return, he said he'll help... I'm not...
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my hand.
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know any... He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear. Just ask them if you don't believe me.
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secrets. No, that guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself King Deshret's envoy.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu.
Smooth.
Okay.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man they speak of... Some time ago, people from the Academia attempted to take the Village Keepers away. I refused, and it strikes me now that this secretive character...
Which means it's highly likely that the Academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the village... They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now they're trying to take them back? We aren't gonna let that happen.
Not the Academia again.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the village?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the academia. A change in their plans likely means they found another way to exploit the scholars. Regardless, our top priority now.
You're right. Isaka's still waiting for news on his grandpa.
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to...
Yes.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything outside.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready.
Por mim iniciava agora, tipo, pra mim não tem diferença, só iniciar e acabou. Pra mim, pode começar a guerra agora, porque é o jeito. Infelizmente outro lado. Não tá mais funcionando essa bosta. Nossa, meu jogo tá demorando, velho. Ah, cutscene. Faz sentido agora. É. Ah lá. Lá ele. Ah lá ele. Nossa, a textura é toda bugada, velho. Que bizarro.
As you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced thus far.
You were gone for ages, and now you're suddenly sitting here musing to your... Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make...
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname! Never! There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy!
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to invest... Anyway, you plan to leave Aru Village and keep searching for the truth of this matter.
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying here, so we thought that we might as well... enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with...
Alhaitham, you haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru Village. Bold of you to question our choices.
Yeah, you're...
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now...
Really? Paimon doesn't...
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my where... Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Huh? Right here in the...
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But, before that, you need to understand where she...
What does that...
How do you think the residents of Aru Village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean, some of them lied to it?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their... Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru Village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether King Deshret or the Dendro Archon has power is of little significance. By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. That's why you believed there was no further information to be found in this village. Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived. The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace...
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes. You...
Don't change the subject.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about the I mean...
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are King Deshret fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the Radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty...
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at night.
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me...
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then...
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this...
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if...
We're on it!
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier...
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but...
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify...
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answer. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler? Hi, Traveler. Do you think the resurrection of King Deshret can truly change Sumeru for the better?
No.
Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we're... But even so, we've met lots of people from different places. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in King Deshret.
Speaking of which, the Radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I... Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see, and then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now...
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told all... I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying.
There are ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It used to be louder and more frequent. But ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often. And when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus...
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
Yeah, let's...
Eu tô vendo a cagada, hein? Eu tô vendo, eu conheço. Ah, velho, bem que poderia ter um TP aqui, mano. Vou pegar esse aqui pra andar mais rápido. É, quer ver? Na hora que eu chegar lá aparece um. Tá. Assim por aqui. Eu vou seguir só pra pegar o baú. Tá, pega, meu jogo travou, velho.
it to me.
Shadows of fate. With all my strength.
Take that!
Heartless. This should cover food and rent for a while.
Scatter! I'll take it.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere.
Empty.
Monsters, watch out!
É, tem alguma coisa aqui, velho.
Propagate!
Don't be scared! Here!
This dance is for you. Cursed fate is upon you.
Don't get him, you away! Stay put!
Vai. Pá, pega, onde você esse bicho, cara?
Let me score.
Caramba, velho, apareceu do nada.
Position.
Don't be scared!
Terminate!
Decided by destiny.
Hey, go away!
Dance with the waves. With all my strength.
Beleza.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected. Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or... He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
This is the one.
Opa! E aí, boa tarde, mano. Como é que você
Let's
tá?
go in
Boa?
and take a
É nóis, hein?
look.
Valeu por sair, mano. Tamo junto. Salvamos, hein? Pera aí que eu já vou ver seu próximo comentário, mano. Deixa eu só dar uma olhada aqui, só.
Hey,
Patience. Shawnee says she only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn.
Beleza. Vai ter live hoje de noite? Cara, não. Não vai ter, mano. Vou falar pra tu. Tu sabe o aplicativo lá? Cara, aquilo lá, velho, sei lá. Não sei se vai dar certo, velho. Uma próxima vez fazer live do Wide Rift pra ver se não trava, tá ligado? Eu teria que estar pelo Play olhando pela TV, mano, tá ligado? Pra ver se não vai travar, se a live continua. O problema é aquilo, né, velho? Vai ficar dando erro de net, essas coisas, tá ligado? Isso que é foda, mano. O bagulho é muito ruim, cara. Teria que achar um aplicativo, velho, novo pra fazer live. Mas não sei, velho. Vou ter que ver isso aí depois. Tenta o Apis Glip. Cara, esse eu não manjo, velho. Então, só que o público nosso aqui é mais no YouTube, né, mano? Na Twitch eu não tenho praticamente público, assim, tá ligado? O máximo que eu poderia fazer é o seguinte: eu faço live na Twitch e pego, tipo assim, uma horinha da live e posto no YouTube, tá ligado? É a única coisa que eu poderia pensar, tá ligado? É o jeito. Se eu não consigo achar outro jeito, eu vou dar uma olhada depois, mano. Beleza?
Until then. I'm taking a break.
And just like that, he sits down. What are you reading? Let Paimon...
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion in contrast with an object in forced motion? Huh?
So,
Eu vi que tem bastante diálogo. É, velho. É isso aqui é foda. Mano, é que é o seguinte, eu tô fazendo uma missão do Arconte. Tá ligado? A missão principal é da história. Eu não vou pular diálogo, né? Mas não tem, velho. Não tem como pular diálogo. Se é missão da história, tá ligado? Tipo assim. Eu prefiro ver, mano. Agora, quando é missão do mundo, missão diária, essas coisas, velho. Eu pulo tudo, mano. Eu nem vejo.
Hey! Paimon's your Tibet travel guide. Paimon knew. And anyway, is that Paimon's fault that the books people read in Sumeru are so complicated?
Tá ligado, mano? Isso que é foda. Missão do Arconte, cara, eu vejo porque, mano, é parte da história, velho. Como é que eu vou pular diálogo? Não tem como eu fazer isso, tá ligado? Tipo, não tem porquê.
Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Será que finalmente vamos descobrir o que tem nesse lugar?
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
Mas você entendeu, né, mano? Tipo, é foda. Mano, eu não manjo nada desse jogo também. Não é que eu não manjo de nada, mas... Mano, missão da história, cara, você não pula diálogo, mano. Você quer entender o que tá acontecendo, tá ligado? Pelo menos pra mim, né?
Below. Something is off about the interior here. As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Você curte Naruto? Claro, né, mano? Naruto é massa. Cara, de jogo, velho, eu tenho o Storm 4, que eu não jogo mais. Eu já zerei uma vez, né? Então não tem porque jogar de novo, né? Pelo menos pra mim. E tem o Shinobi Striker, mano, que é tipo o online lá, que você joga contra outros jogadores, tá ligado? É massa, mano. Mas faz muito tempo que eu não jogo, velho. Faz um tempo já que eu não jogo.
Oh, it looks like there are other mechanisms around here.
Tá ligado? Então, mano, é isso, tá ligado? Tem, velho. Shinobi Striker é legal, eu já vi. É, mano, é massa, tá ligado? Não é ruim. É um jogo interessante. Muito massa também. Investigue os monumentos elementais. Será que é esses aqui? Provável. Tem vários por aqui, então. Ah, não era pra pegar o Dendróculos, velho. Ah, meu personagem morreu porque deu bug, mano. Como assim, cara? Ô, jogo, aí você tá de vacilo. Olha lá, mano. Ah, velho, por causa da cutscene, cara. Aí não, velho. Cutscene não, né? Ah, mano, aí é vacilo demais eu fazer isso. Ah, mano. Tive que gastar item pra reviver o personagem. Olha isso, cara. Mano, esse jogo me sacaneia de vez em quando, né? É foda. O bom é que a personagem pode... Me sacaneou, velho. Uma caverna isso aqui. Vou pegar esses minérios aqui, porque, né? Não vou deixar pra trás isso aqui, velho. Isso aqui serve demais. Ah, não era pra continuar aqui, velho. Nossa, que vacilo. Ué, eu não acabei de pegar item aqui, não? Oxi, isso daí. Vixe, agora como é que eu faço pra subir, velho? Ei, cara, não era pra ter caído aqui, velho, então. Vou tentar subir, velho. Ah, fora que não tem ponto de apoio. Ah, aqui tem. Ou não? Não tem. Ah, não, o jogo é esse. Aí você me ferrou. Demais até. Eu vou tentar dar um jeito de subir. Ah, tem como subir sim. Tá de boa. Só não gastar muita energia e achar um ponto de apoio. Aqui deve ser. Aqui, ó. Agora sim. Você vai trazer ainda o One of Kings? Ah, cara. Acho que vou, né, mano? Mano, o jogo é massa, velho. O jogo é massa. Você vai trazer ainda o One of Kings? Cara, faz tempo que eu não faço, hein? Agora que você falou mesmo, é um jogo que eu deveria voltar a jogar, mano. Ixi, velho, e agora? Ixi, vai acabar a estamina, eu vou cair lá embaixo, velho. Vamos, jogo. Nossa, que sorte, velho. Deixa eu recuperar a estamina de novo. Deixa eu vir por esse lado aqui, que eu acho que dá. Aí, vou subir. Deixa eu olhar aqui onde que tá os outros. Tá, eu ativei um, né? Tem que ter mais dois desse bagulho dentro aqui em algum lugar. Vou ter que escalar os bagulhos aqui pra me achar. Opa, tem coisa aqui. Tem bosta nenhuma. Ixi, mas tem que fazer alguma coisa pra liberar, né? Deixa eu ver como assim.
Shadows of Fate! Stay put! Positions!
Tá, dois. Agora cadê o terceiro, velho? Ah, tá, eu já peguei aquele ali. Não tem como não ser aquele.
Delve into death with all my strength. You, Blade! All eyes on me!
Propagate!
Nossa, pareceu mais, velho.
Scatter! Positions! Written in the stars! Go get him, Uruguay! Don't be scared! Oh, yeah! Oh,
Propagate!
É nóis, mano. Tamo junto, mano. Só agradeço, velho. Valeu aí. Uma boa tarde pra você aí, mano. Tamo junto. Tá. Agora dá pra ver aquele lugar de novo. Beleza. Onde que tava mesmo? Armário antigo, tá.
Look! There's someone on... Good idea. Let's approach...
Wait. You're...
He can't speak, and His eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's great. Also, why is he the only...
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the Academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles...
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they... There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded...
Loaded with...
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? What?
Allow me to jog your memory. Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh! Now that you mention it, they're acting the same way!
Correct. The Academia is behind all of it. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale.
First, the Academia spread a false rumor of King Deshret's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to... These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were, as well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends. This scheme has one further advantage to the Academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto King Deshret's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since King Deshret's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are what many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of King Deshret, and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an Academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the Academia that brought the scholars to...
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were... An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing... If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people...
Resource?
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean, canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
With the technology of the Sumeru Academia, its entire... Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night, when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope, nah, Hyman doesn't want to think about this.
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But, or perhaps, his curiosity got the better of him, and he...
Hyman's a little confused. Can they just...
The look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do the academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge? But I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
All scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects. If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world, this matter needs to be corrected. Just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait, didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor...
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well.
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
You can say that. Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake...
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them.
You're a prop... Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the... Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be...
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. He won't last long if we leave him here. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
Beleza. Tá. Tá, deixa eu só ver uma coisa. Aqui tem um caminho, né? Eu vou dar uma olhada pra não sei se tem baú, essas coisas aqui, velho. Não posso ser trouxa também, de deixar passar alguma coisa. Só dar uma olhada só. Não, isso aqui volta pra entrada, então eu vou voltar direto pra vila. Ô jogo, para de travar, velho. Toda vez você fica travando, que bosta. Toda hora essa merda trava, velho. Mas também, né? Eu tô jogando o jogo, tô fazendo live. Era óbvio que isso ia acontecer. O jogo não tá suportando a carga, velho. Bora. Vamos ver o que mais consegue. Já é praticamente 5 horas.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar...
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru village, since Divine Cant and knowledge has been in circulation yet. They fled once we were headed to the village.
We may have a mole in our midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that...
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is... interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Al-Haytham.
I know. You have a point. But I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including, simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into the Akasha too? But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into...
The Akasha is capable of computation. The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think. However, the fact that you resigned is proof that their suspicions were well-founded.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from. Sino, don't take it to heart. This just proves how much of a
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it... If the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place... Yep, that's right.
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After...
Please, wait! I want to go too!
No.
You want to go too?
I want to find Grandpa. I promise.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
Yay! Let's go! Paimon feels like we're missing...
É, a Déria, na hora que falou de todo mundo, ela saiu fora. Tem alguma coisa errada aqui. Aqui já tem algo muito estranho. Tô vendo, hein? Tô vendo, hein? Como diz o Honda. Honda Gamers. Tô vendo, hein? O bagulho tá pra ficar massa agora, mas já é 5 horas. Então, rapaziada, vou estar ensinando esse live por aqui. Tamo junto, hein? É nóis, hein? Valeu pelo apoio, tamo junto. E é claro que eu não vou fazer a missão do Arconte, né? Vou esperar pra próxima.